The Pool Guy Podcast Show. The Pool Guy Podcast Show. The Pool Guy Podcast Show. Yeah!
Hi, and welcome to the Pool Guy Podcast Show. In this episode, I'm going to give you an audio tour of the Western Pool Show, and this is kind of giving you an insight to how the pool shows are. If you've ever been to a museum and you have like an audio set that's playing while you're looking at the exhibits, this is kind of how this podcast is set up. Now, if you're watching the YouTube version, I'm going to have the floor show for you. And as I'm walking, you're going to see the different booths that I'm highlighting. If you're just listening to this, you're going to be able to follow perfectly what I'm saying. I'm going to give you the aisle numbers that I'm walking through and highlight the different aspects of each company that's at the Western Pool Show. If you're listening to this podcast and you want to pull up the show floor, just go to www.westernshow.com, go over to show floor on the tab, click on the 2022 version, and you're going to see the floor plan of the show, and hopefully you can follow along with this podcast recording as I go through the various booths. You don't have to walk the show floor on a map. I'm going to just walk it in your head now, and you can kind of visualize these different companies as I'm explaining them. And I think it's going to really help you if you're not familiar with a lot of the companies that are going to be at the various pool shows. Pool Service Pro, open a Leslie's wholesale account today and receive wholesale pricing on products you use every day. Leslie's Pool Supply offers convenient locations that are open 7 days a week. Another great benefit of opening a Leslie's wholesale account is Leslie's referral program. Get referred to a customer looking for weekly pool service. Also receive priority service, enhanced rebate programs, a discount on your general liability insurance through SPA, a discount on your pool routing software through Skimmer, and an opportunity to co-brand with Leslie's on your social media, website, truck, and more. Save time and money and grow your pool service route and become a Leslie's Pro. So I'm going to try to do this within half an hour. And so the Western Pool Show is held in Long Beach, California. And as you enter, you're going to see the big players here at the entrance. I'm going to zoom in here. And you're going to have Hayward, Raypak, Pentair, and then you're going to have pool water purification products to the far left. So 101 is pool water purifications, and 601 is Hayward pool products. I'll just go left to right. Pool water purification are these giant trailers that will filter your pool water down. So let's say your TDS is like 5,000. They'll filter the water and maintain or keep most of the water for the pool and put it back in there. I think they save like 80 or 90% of the water, and they'll drop your TDS down to like 500. So it's a great way to purify the water in a drought area without getting rid of the water. Then you have Pentair, which of course is a giant in the industry. In my area, California, about 80% of all the equipment pads are Pentair. You're going to know all their equipment by their tan color. And it pretty much goes without saying that Pentair dominates in a lot of areas with their Pentair and Stay Right brand. Then you have Raypak, which is one of the manufacturers that makes heaters. Now they're owned by Rheem, and Rheem makes a lot of furnaces for the home. So they have a huge history of making furnaces and heaters. They're really reliable. They used to be like gigantic heaters. They'd be the size of like a VW Bug, and you couldn't really fit them anywhere in the equipment area. They've shrunk them down quite a bit, so they are a lot smaller than they used to be, and they're definitely very reliable as a heater. They're just one of those brands that maybe is not as well known as Hayward, Pentair, and Jandy. And then you have Hayward, and Hayward makes, of course, equipment as well as cleaners. They make one of my favorite cleaners in the pool cleaner, Aquanaut. They also make the Navigator. You'll see Hayward pool products dominate the East Coast in certain regions with their super pump. They're definitely a well-known manufacturer. So let me go over Fluidra. I'll get to them when I go down the middle, but Fluidra is right there behind all of these, and they have a big area. But I'll get to Fluidra when I go down aisle 400. So I'm going to start going down aisle 700, which is on the far right of the show floor. If you walk in, the far right is right there. To the far right, I guess I should say. So the first one is the Stenson Development Inc., and they are a hardscape company that makes those fancy covers that match the hardscape. They also make cuts in the hardscape. They're a hardscape company. Then you have Tiki, RLX Mobile, and they make like Bluetooth speakers that are waterproof, things like that. Then you have a company called Pool Tenders. I'm not sure I think they're a pool service company. And then you have Creative Water Solutions, and they make they're like a natural water treatment, so probably a non-chlorine type treatment. And then you have California Pool and Spa Association. There's a trade association. Aquastar Pool Products, they make main drains, they make filters. They have like the Hayward Navigator clone. You may be familiar with the Aquastar drains, are these gigantic anti-vortic drains that all the cleaners get stuck on. So Aquastar is there. Then you have TaylorMade products. This is booth 725. I'm heading up the side of the show floor now, and this is all on the far right. I think they make boat products or things like that. They're not Taylor Technology, so don't get confused there. Then you have Solax, which makes salt water cells and systems, as well as UV systems. Then you have Afras Industries, and they're a pump and drain company, I believe. Then you have Jack's Magic, and they make all the metal sequestering products that are on the market that work highly effectively. BHG Sales, I think they're a manufacturing rep company. And L&L Lines, if you go up a little bit higher, they're also a manufacturing rep company. I think they rep like multi-torque and things like that. And then Patriot Portable Restrooms, that's probably self-explanatory. And then at the very top, We Clean Pool Tiles, they're a tile clean company. And then you go over to the other side of row 700, you have Laguna Koi Ponds, and they make koi ponds, of course. A lot of empty booths. You go back down, and then you have Unicel filter cartridges. They make the aftermarket cartridges for a lot of the different brands of filters and spa filters. They're here in Southern California, and they're a great manufacturer of the aftermarket filters. And then you have Y Software and Computer Products. I believe they are just a software company that makes routing software. What is it? Y Software, business management and water analyst software. Then you have Socal Gas Company, and I'm not sure why they're there. They're just there to promote gas, I guess, natural gas usage over the heat pumps. You have Aqua Magazine. I really like Aqua Magazine. I'm familiar with them through Scott Webb, who's the editor. He's been on the podcast show before. It's a great magazine, and if you're in the trade, I highly recommend signing up for this magazine. Just go to their website and fill out the form, and you'll get a magazine sent to you every month, and great content in there. King Technology, King Technology is, they're the frog mineral. They make the frog mineral technology, so you may be familiar with that. Maybe not their name, but with the product they make, which is the frog mineral system. You have US Motors, which is Nidec, and Nidec is the parent company. You may recognize US Motors as Emerson in the past, so US Motors was Emerson, formerly Emerson, now it's Nidec, and they make VS motors as well as standard speed motors. H2O Flow Controls, they're booth 710, and they make the FlowVis, which I really like that product. It's a great flow monitor or flow meter that goes on your pool. And you can easily retrofit a Janney check valve with the FlowVis monitor. You may not recognize their name again because it's H2O Flow Controls, but they do make the FlowVis. I'm back down by Hayward. Now I'm going to go up aisle 600. And you have Fujiwa Tile, which is a tile company. Okay, now we're back up here, and you have Glass Llc. And I believe they are Glass Llc. It's ringing a bell. They're a pool plaster coating company where they spray like a coating on the plaster to make it last longer. And then you have Taylor Technologies right up from them, booth 629. And then you have Aqua Salt. They're all at the show, the Aqua Salt. Taylor Technologies, I guess I'll back up. They're recently acquired by Fluidra. They make the Taylor test kits. Everyone should be familiar with those. And they're a great company that has a lot of, history in making the reagent test kits. Aqua Salt, they're always at the show. They just basically sell pool salt. And Century Motors, they're a pretty big and popular replacement motor company. And they make the VS motors for, I think, Hayward, Jandy, and I think they make it for Pentair also. I'm not exactly sure. But they make a lot of the motors that are on the major manufacturer branded equipment. Intermatic, those are those time clocks. They're always ticking back there. And they control the pool and spa. And definitely a well-known company in the industry. Purity Pools, they make the leaf rakes. The Red Baron is probably their most popular leaf rake, and you'll know these products by just their durability and the impossibility of changing out any parts on it. They're really well made, but I just throw them away and get a new one. I don't change out any parts on these things because they're really hard to change out. US Seal, they make seals for the pumps, and basically if you're going to replace a motor, actually, they make seals for the motor inside the pump. So if you're going to replace the motor, you're going to need to put a new seal on. and most people will use US Seal for their seal for the motor, for the wet end and the dry end of the pump. Then you have Artistic Mosaic. I believe they are a tile company or some kind of company like that. You have Rolochem, which is the automated chemical company that makes the automated, they put acid and chlorine in the pool with a device backed up by the equipment. So I guess there's an automated chlorine and acid feeding company that will add it to the pool based on the reading that the device tells. You'll see these at the high-end pools and on commercial pools. PoolRx makes a mineral technology that prevents all microalgae from forming in the pool, and a lot of pool guys use this as like a magic bullet in their pools. So I'm back at the top here. You have the putting contest at the very top, and then I'm going to go down the other side of aisle 600. You have Deco Seal, and they're just a deck sealing company. Then you have Pool Corp in the middle. Pool Corp is the company that owns SCP and Superior Pool Products, plus another few other small distributors. And they just recently acquired Pinch a Penny, the franchise there. So they're a huge player in the wholesale industry, the biggest wholesaler out there. I believe they have 80,000 SKUs in their 80,000 to 100,000 SKUs in their system. So to put that in perspective, I think the next nearest one has like 30,000 SKUs. So they're a pretty huge wholesaler out there on the market. Okay, let's continue down here. Underneath Pool Corp, you have Filbert, which is also an aftermarket cartridge filter company, and they make really good replacement cartridge filters. And then you have a company called Pool Brain, and I believe they make monitoring software of some type for the pool. It's more like a flow and leak detecting kind of monitoring. I think they also can monitor the chemistry. Something new on the market there. Not too familiar with the company. Then you have Lamotte, which makes the Spin Touch and the Color Q photometers. Great company. The Spin Touch is the premier photometer on the market. It does 10 test factors in 60 seconds. Definitely something that you want to invest in. Then you have Falco, Safetron. I believe they're a solar panel company for the solar heating for your pool. And then you have Stenner Pump. They make like commercial type pumps. Ontario Pool Tile. They make pool tiles. Then you have a company called Technosolis, and they make solar panels, I believe also. They're a solar company that has the panels to heat the pool. And then you have Vivo Aquatics, and they're another monitoring software for the pool. And these are kind of new things that are coming on the market, the Pool Brain and the Vivo Aquatics with this kind of monitoring. Then you have Leslie's Pool Supply, which they're advertising their Leslie's Pro, which is a great thing to join if you're a pool pro. You get wholesale pricing, plus you get referrals out of the store. So what's going to happen is if you're a Leslie's Pro member at the highest level, I think you have to spend like $14,000 a year, which is like 7 buckets of tablets right now. And then you get referrals when the manager has a customer come in saying, "Hey, I gave up. I can't manage my pool." They'll give the card to the customer, your card to the customer if you're a Leslie's Pro member. And you go out there and you bid the pool and you'll be able to land the account. So it's a great way to get accounts, and it's a great way to get wholesale pricing at a convenient location. Usually in the Sunbelt area, there's a Leslie's within like 10 minutes of each other. And so you're going to be able to get your supplies wholesale there. I'm going to go back up here. Now I'm going to go up aisle 500. And 511 is your Vac Lift system. They make anti-entrapment type devices for the pump and filter so that people won't be entrapped if someone gets stuck on the main drain. So a really, definitely a product that's necessary in the industry. Then you have Sutro, which makes a smart water monitor, which I love. They use the Lamotte reagents, and so they will give you your free chlorine, pH, and alkalinity in your pool, and they're highly accurate. Then you have PAL Lighting. PAL Lighting makes the color-changing lights, and I have them in my pool right now. They're a great light system that has a remote control. It's a great way to retrofit your old light system with an LED-type color-changing light system. Then you have Pebble Technology, which is a Pebble Tech. It's probably the company that owns Pebble Tech, and they're promoting the Pebble Tech Surface, which I really like. No need to promote it in the industry. Most pool guys love Pebble Tech, and maybe they should be promoting it towards customers. But of course, pool guys will tell the customer to remodel and use Pebble Tech, so I guess they are promoting it by having the pool guys see their booth. Acid Magic is an alternate. Then you have Acid Magic, which is an alternate form of acid to add to the pool. It has 90% less fumes than muriatic acid. And with the price of muriatic acid rising so high, you may look into getting Acid Magic. It's great for salt cell cleaning because it has 90% less fumes, and I definitely recommend getting it for that reason. S.R. Smith, they make rails, ladders, slides, and accessory type of products. And then you have CPSA, which is the California Pool and Spa Association, I believe. And then I'm going to go up here. I'm going to go around the Waterscape 100, go back up to aisle 500, and you have Solenis. And Solenis, let me see, what is Solenis? Solenis is that's a CCH, that's Segura, or formerly Segura and CCH. I think they merged into this company now, and they make the Cal Hypo tablets. So you're maybe familiar with the hexagon-shaped Cal Hypo tablets made by Segura, which is now Solenis. I think I pronounced it correctly. Then you're back up at Pool Corp, and then you have Lasco Fittings above Pool Corp. And Lasco Fittings makes check valves and also fittings for the pool, or check valves, elbows, things like that, and a bunch of other kind of fittings that are really well made and sold at your wholesaler. Then you have I'm at the other side of 500 now. At the top, you have Ask the Masters, which is a group of builders that have a Facebook page and a podcast where they talk about pool building. So if you have any pool building questions, they're definitely the ones to ask. Then you have a tile company, Meridian Tile, right under them. Then you have Hasa. You're going to see my son's keychains here. The Hasa makes the liquid chlorine and acid returnable cases, or they manufacture them, or distribute them, I should say. I don't even know exactly how to say it properly. I'll just read it for you. It says, Hasa's manufacturing company primarily engaged in the production and sale and distribution of sodium hypochlorite and related products. So that says it better than I just said it there. And they have other products also. So back down the other side of aisle 500, you have Pool Cover Inc. They make the pool covers that have the key and they have the motor, and they're the safety covers that, close on top of the pool. A great company and a well-made product. Then you have SPPA, which is the insurance company that I team up with, and they're a general liability insurance company. I definitely recommend getting general liability insurance through SPPA. They're a great company. I'm going to go back down here. Then you have Pool Electric Products Inc. I'm going to go back down past 100 and back down, and I'm on the other end of aisle 500. And at 421, you have Pool and Electric Products, PEP, and they're a wholesaler that's catching on and becoming popular. And now I'm going to stop here at Fluidra. Fluidra has the whole 400 aisle blocked off with their products. They're the parent company of Jandy, Zodiac, Polaris, and a bunch of other ones, Nature too. You're going to find that they make really good cleaners, robotic pool cleaners, really good suction cleaners and pressure cleaners. The Polaris 280, or I should say the 180, was the first pressure cleaner on the market, and they last forever in the pools. And they also make good equipment through Jandy. I have the True Clear cell on my pool along with their VS pump. So Fluidra definitely is a dominant force in the equipment industry, as a seller of cleaners and also equipment. I'm going to go ahead and head back up aisle 400 now. After you get done with the Fluidra area that takes up the whole aisle of 400, you're going to see Ramak Pool Paint. They, of course, make pool paint. And if you want to paint a pool, you definitely want to use pool quality or pool level paint. I'm losing what I'm saying here. You want to use paint that's designed specifically for pool surfaces. So I've seen painted pools, and a lot of them aren't done correctly, so the paint comes off after a year. You definitely want to use a pool paint that's made for pool surfaces. Then you have Aqua Cal Autopilot. They're a salt cell manufacturer. You'll see their cells everywhere. And then if you go around Waterscape 100 and aisle 400, you're going to see Blu-ray XL, which is a mineral system similar to the PoolRx and the Frog, and they're right there. And then above them is Coronal Lighting, and they're an outdoor lighting company. They have the lights you see in the grass area and hardscape area. So that's Coronal Lighting. And then you have IPSA, which is the National Pool Association, and they have members all over the country and different IPSA chapters. And so they're a pool association. Right above them in booth 444 is Pool Nation Podcast, and they're a podcast show that's probably about a year and a half old. And my friend John is one of the hosts of that show. And definitely I would recommend tuning into that show. They're a bunch of younger guys than me, and they're doing a great job with their podcast. Right above them is Ultimate Pool Tools, which is a carbon fiber pool pole, like the Primate pole, very similar to that. And then you have the next aisle, let me go get over here real quick. You have the giveaway section right next to the Pool Nation as booth 145, and they're giving $20,000 away this year at the Western Show, and they give prizes away like every day, every hour. So definitely stop by there and register. You just have to have your badge scanned, and you can win prizes. Right below them is the Vac Daddy, and I really like the Vac Daddy. It's a portable vacuum that you plug in it pumps like 60 gallons per minute, and it's great for vacuuming up pools without using the pool system itself. So stop by the Vac Daddy booth and check them out. It's definitely a device that's trending, and people are starting to catch on and like the Vac Daddy. Then you have Job Tread software. I believe that's like a contractors type routing kind of software for the builders and contractors. Then below them at booth 328 is Easy Care products. I really love these products. They make the Butec and Scale Tech, which are great for getting rid of the scale on the pool. And I think I missed some booths. I'll move back over, and I missed actually a big section of booths, and I'll go back there. I apologize for that, but I'll go back up to the top again. And Easy Care products makes Butec and Scale Tech, along with other products like their algaecide, and they're great products. They're well made, and the Butec works really well in the startup and to remove scale from a pool. And I think the waterscape thing in the middle kind of messed me up, but aisle in booth 437 is the Primate pool tools, and I really like the Primate pool. Joe's a great guy, and you can go there. They're at the very top, right next to the SPPA. Right below them at 435 is a Riptide, and Riptide Pool Vacuum Systems is a great vacuum system that's, indestructible, and they're dominating, I think, the vacuum system market with the Riptide. And then right over there next to them in 536 is the Pool Cover Inc., and they make the pool cover. So I think I covered that in SPPA, but I forgot to go over to the next side on 437 for Primate Pool Tools and Riptide, which are two great companies that you don't want to miss. They're right up there at the top. Below HASA, you're going to find Primate Pool Tools and Riptide, and then you go from there down the other booth. So the show kind of messed me up with that waterscape thing in the middle, but I think I'm back on track now. So we're back in aisle 300, and on the right of 300, if you're walking in, is Skimmer at 323, and they're a great pool routing software. They're pretty much dominating the pool routing software segment, and it's really a great AI, and it works really good. So if you have employees, or if you want to track your expenses or billing, Skimmer is definitely the way to go. Clear Comfort is an AOP company. They make UV and ozone products, so you can check out those. Those are catching on also. So the Clear Comfort at 321 is an ozone company. Now we're back down by Fluidra, and to the left of them at 310 is Matronics, which is Dolphin, and they're out of Israel, and they make a really great robotic pool cleaner lineup. I really like the Dolphin cleaners. I think they're the premier robotic pool cleaner next to the Polaris robotic pool cleaners. They're probably, tied first, second, and they go back and forth. So if you're looking for a high end or just a average and average price robotic pool cleaner, $800 range or so, look at the Dolphin and look at the Polaris cleaners. They're really great, and both are really complementary of each other. They're a little different, but Dolphin does make one of the top robotic pool cleaners. Then you have Pool Magazine, which at 314 is an online magazine, kind of like Aqua Magazine, but they only have an online version, and they don't have a print version. So you can stop by the Pool Magazine booth. Green Solution Pool Service, I think they're a pool service company. I'm not sure exactly what they're selling there. Blue White Industries are a fluid metering company. They're kind of like the other software that measures the flow of the pool. I'm not sure exactly. Blake Sales Associates, I think they're a rep for manufacturers there. Then you have Blue Square Manufacturing, which they make the in-floor systems for the pool. And then Biolab, you're all going to know the Biolab name because you've heard it in the news. And if you are buying trichlor tablets and you're paying $200 for a 50-pound bucket, it's because the Biolab factory burned down in Louisiana, and they were producing 2 million tons of trichlor every year. I guess don't put all your eggs in one basket, so to speak, but they were the only real producer of trichlor. When that burned down, there you go, the trichlor prices skyrocketed. They're the parent company of Clorox, I believe, and NC Brands Natural Chemistry. So when you go to the booth, you're going to see the natural chemistry stuff there, the Phosphoree, the Pool Perfect. And so the Biolab is the owner or the parent company of NC Brands and a bunch of other companies underneath them. or in that umbrella of BioLab. So you may not recognize the name, but you're going to recognize the products that BioLab makes, and you're going to remember that they're the one that had their factory burned down. So I'm going to go over to the next side here, which is Done Right. I'm going to go over by Waterscape 100 and go over to aisle 200, which is Done Right products. And Done Right products, let's see, they make like, I think, basketball hoops. I'm pretty sure that's what they do for the pool. And then you have the Camera Eye, which is a software to monitor like kids at your pool. It'll have a motion sensor, so if a kid falls in the pool or a baby, it'll go off the alarm. There's a camera there, so it sounds like a pretty innovative product. Then you have Magic Plastics underneath them, and Magic Plastics is a check valve. They make check valves and fittings. You'll see the big square check valve, usually sold under the Superior brand at Pool Corp. I believe that's made by Magic Plastics. Then underneath them is Pleatco, which makes cartridge filters, and they're definitely a company to look at as far as cartridge filter replacements. They use a unique material on it, and they were recently bought out by Pentair, so they may start appearing in Pentair filters. You have Alpha Water Systems, and I believe they're a wholesale distributor in San Fernando Valley, California. So they're a wholesaler that can deliver supplies to you if you're in the San Fernando Valley. Chlorine Genie is a device that generates chlorine at the pool without a salt cell. It's kind of a unique system, so you might want to check out that booth, and it'll actually make liquid chlorine right there. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but it'll make the chlorine right there at the equipment without a saltwater system. Then you have Arenda Technologies. My friend Harold Evans will probably be there, and Arenda makes a lot of great products for the pool industry, the phosphate remover and the enzyme and the scale treatment. And definitely, he's been on my podcast, so definitely stop by there and say hi to Harold. And he's a great guy, and I really enjoy having him on my podcast show whenever he has time to be on there. Then you have National Pool Route Sales, and I've worked with them. I work with Scott Roberts out of Florida. He's done a few podcasts with me, actually. And if you're wanting to buy or sell your pool route, you definitely want to go to National Pool Route Sales for that. And then we're back at the bottom. They're right next to Pentair, and I'll go up the other end of aisle 200. And then right there at the beginning of 200, you're going to have Uma Solar, and I believe they're a solar panel company that puts solar panels on your roof to heat the pool up. And then you have Aqua Tile, which is a tile company. Pool Pro Magazine, that's Megan Kendrick. She's been on the Pool Chasers podcast show. She's on there like once a month doing like a recap. And she has a really great magazine that's available at all the Pool Corp distribution centers. And I would definitely check out that booth and stop by. Energy Code Ace, I believe they're just a company that helps you with the Title 20, with the VS pump kind of regulations. I'm not exactly sure what they do, but I believe they're like a company that's going to help walk you through some of the California regulations, Title 24, the building code, things like that. You have Pool and Spa News, which is another magazine. They're out of Los Angeles. They're similar to the Aqua Magazine and the Pool Pro Magazine, and you can also get a free subscription to that magazine, and it'll be mailed to you. Then you have the American Cancer Society there, and I think it's a really great booth to have at the show because skin cancer is something that we all have to be focused on and worried about. And I think, if you're out there working, you need to take protective measures to limit your exposure to the sun. So I wear a straw hat. I wear, the baby suntan lotion so I can see when I'm putting it on. It's like white all over my face. I wear long sleeve shirts and long sleeve pants because the last thing you want is skin cancer. So they're probably going to be screening and giving out brochures there. Definitely something that you want to check out. And then last on aisle 224 at the very top is Aquatherm Industries. And Aquatherm Industries is, I think, another solar type company, a solar panel company. So there you have the show. I walked through the whole thing. I think I just made one error in my little tour, but I recovered, I think, pretty well. And I zoomed back down so you can see the whole floor. There's some empty booths that may fill up. So if you're listening to this, there may be some other vendors that show up there. I definitely recommend the pool shows because you can get a lot of good information. You can meet a lot of the people behind these companies that I mentioned here, and you can really find out a lot of different things about the industry just by walking the show floor. Not just in California, but there's a show in Florida. There's a show in maybe a couple of shows in Texas every year. There's the International Pool Show, and there's a new show by Aqua Magazine in Charlotte, North Carolina later in the year. There's the International, I think I mentioned International Pools. There's an Atlantic Pool Show. So there's many shows to go through, and many of the same vendors are going to be at the booths. At the shows, I should say. They may not have a booth at every show, and you may have some local vendors at certain shows and not at other shows. So they're definitely worth attending. This one here, the Western Pool Show, is in Long Beach, and I highly recommend it. This is the one that I attend, so you may see me walking around there. I'll be wearing my Swimming Pro Learning or Pool Guy Podcast Show shirt, so definitely stop and say hi to me. I would like to meet everyone that's listening to the podcast and watching my YouTube videos at the show. And if you need any more information, you can go to the website. Let me go back to the actual website here. It's the westernshow.com. So just type in www.westernshow.com and all the information will be there. And you'll see that map that I was looking at on the computer that I have displayed for the YouTube version. You can pull that map up and you can see the show map as you're listening to this podcast here. If you're looking for other podcast recordings, you can go to my website, swimmingprolearning.com, and click on the banner. There's a podcast icon on the banner, and you can scroll down and listen to other podcast episodes at your leisure. And if you want to enhance your business, definitely consider my coaching program at poolguycoaching.com. A lot of great benefits for joining there, including a discount on your general liability insurance. Thanks for listening to this podcast. Have a great rest of your week, and God bless. Pool Service Pro. Open a Leslie's wholesale account today and receive wholesale pricing on products you use every day. Leslie's Pool Supply offers convenient locations that are open 7 days a week. Another great benefit of opening a Leslie's wholesale account is Leslie's referral program. Get referred to a customer looking for weekly pool service. Save time and money and grow your pool service route and become a Leslie's Pro.